Okay, we need to talk. So, I know that this video is a little overdue, considering that I've been saying over social media for quite a while, and I don't know if I've mentioned it yet in my Let's Plays of Metroid Prime or Skyward Sword. I know it was definitely within the last 2 episodes each of those series that I recorded that unfortunately I'm still editing, and I'm gonna have to put on the back burner for this weekend considering all that's gonna be happening. But, well, it's not too much of a channel update video, I think. So, I don't know how many people that follow me or anything I do online kind of know my situation. I've said it maybe a couple, I don't know. The reason this entire video is happening is kind of a complicated matter in itself. So, depending on if you can tell between the last video I did and this one, is that there's probably a strong likelihood that the recording quality is much better than last time. That's because it was only earlier this week that I dropped my phone and that phone became completely unusable. So I had to get it replaced. And having to pay $89 when your financial circumstances personally and within your family aren't exactly the best thing in the world, it's bad. Top that off with the fact that some of the things I would like to be able to do in due time with Nintendo content on my YouTube channel is locked out because I have to pay to sort things out. And the general fact that it's hard for me to even try to word this in a way that doesn't make it sound ungenuine, if that's even a word. Something heartfelt and meaningful, and it's just a pain. To kind of explain the whole video game thing, last week I was trying to load up the DLC for Splatoon 2 onto my Nintendo Switch, only to realize that on the US eShop doesn't work with a European copy of Splatoon 2 that you got as a Christmas present, not realizing until you received it that it was a European copy. And because the eShop data for that was different, the DLC wouldn't load in the European physical copy of the game. I contacted Nintendo customer support, asking them what could be done to remedy the situation. They were saying that if it were a digital copy of the game, it would have been a breeze to resolve, but because it was a European physical release, there wasn't much they could do other than recommending trying to trade it in or purchase a new copy of Splatoon 2. I just, earlier this afternoon, as of recording this video, went to the closest GameStop to me to see if I could trade in the game. Unfortunately, GameStops in North America don't take European copies of games. So the only way I could ever realistically do the whole Splatoon 2 DLC thing is if I were to re-buy the same game I already have, either digitally or physically. Top that off with the fact that two of the biggest releases I've been looking forward to all summer have been restocks of the NES Classic, which are gonna be, what was it, like $70 regardless, topped off with the fact that the Crash Insane trilogy is coming out the same day as that, and I have very limited money to begin with. I have a lot on my plate to try and sift through, sort out, and organize. I just feel right now like I'm in one heck of a financial slump. And all because things have... Why am I even getting emotional right now? Things haven't really been going my way this week. Fortunately, I have been able to keep up with my schoolwork. Being able to afford food has been relatively simple, albeit a bit strenuous considering recent circumstances. But I feel even more so right now that with my unfortunate inability in the past 3 years to find employment in my own hometown, very likely because my last employer has probably been either inadvertently or purposefully screwing me over with job opportunities, being able to provide for myself is getting really, really tough. And for my family especially, finances are a very, very touchy subject because the main source of income my family has had over the past 19 years was cut off because, well, I don't even know if I should be talking about that. Probably shouldn't. My sister is one of my subs. And she'd probably go tell my family about the reason why at the drop of a hat. In which case, if you're watching, hi! But that's coupled with the fact that even for college, my current student medical insurance situation was very sketchy to even register for fall semester classes. Oh boy. Fortunately, my family will eventually be able to afford medical insurance again, but that was a concern I had this week as well. I guess the reason, well, I keep trying to put it off because I don't want to come off as sounding petty, money grubbing, or just trying to make any of my subs or anyone who knows me online feel like they have to when they don't necessarily right off the bat. I coupled between all of that and the fact that I want to be able to make improvements to this channel, actually be able to improve all the equipment I already have, well, improve the channel through getting better equipment, being able to actually afford a capture card so that you don't constantly have to watch my Let's Plays through the lens of a webcam. I guess, as odd as it is to transition into stating this matter, I'm essentially going to be opening, well, not necessarily opening. I am going to be more actively on this channel utilizing a Patreon account. Now, most people would be against that, I suppose. I don't know. But I've been considering for quite a long time trying to find some way of being able to earn even a shred of a living off of making content for the channel. Being able to make stuff that I hope everyone's been enjoying thus far, and being able to make more content that I hope you will continue to look forward to. At the same time, probably utilizing Streamlabs, even though I don't really stream. PayPal, definitely going to look into sorting that out. Thing is, I don't even know with certainty if I can quite yet receive any pledges over Patreon or donations over PayPal or Streamlabs, because I've never tested that before. I don't know if those would even go through. But I'm hoping that as time goes on, that can become more of a regular thing, I suppose. Just being able to find some way to make do until I can actually find work. And one idea I did have over the last couple of days with something I could do as a bit of a Patreon incentive, being able to work towards doing a patron, well, maybe a timed patron exclusive Let's Play over on Patreon and then eventually onto YouTube of playing the Splatoon 2 Octo Expansion DLC. Of course, that will depend on the circumstance on that, because one, I have to somehow afford a $60 game that was already purchased, and then the $20 DLC. Trying to get $80 on Patreon or through PayPal/Streamlabs donations, that's not going to be easy. By a long shot. It won't. It's not going to be easy, especially with only a month between now and the DLC release. Fortunately, one idea I suppose I could do towards that, if it'll even work, I'm certainly hoping it could, I've definitely been wanting to record my E3 reactions, as tired and cliche of a genre of YouTube videos that is. But as of this recording of this, it's still Friday. E3 begins tomorrow with the EA press conference, and then goes Microsoft and Bethesda Sunday, Square Enix, Ubisoft, and Sony on Monday, and then Nintendo on Tuesday. I may try to stream the press conferences. Bleh. I may try to record the E3 press conferences. I may stream them. I'll start off by testing ahead of time if I can stream. Hopefully giving myself about a half hour before that just to be certain everything is going well. And if you're watching this, please join me for that stream, because needing to test it will ultimately make sure that's even working for me. But I will try having some pre-existing Streamlabs stuff that I have on OBS running during the stream, so that should anyone want to donate during the stream towards that Let's Play, depending on where it goes. I don't know which would happen first. Patreon donations getting to enough to be able to do that, or being able to sort that out through Streamlabs. I have no idea which would happen first, or where that Octo expansion playthrough would end up. But, well, how do I even transition out of this now? And then eventually over time, depending on stream donations over YouTube or Patreon pledges, it could lead to a lot of... Sorry about the noise in the background. Despite leaving the window slightly ajar, there are still bike racks right outside my apartment. But what was I trying to say before I was so rudely interrupted? What was I trying to say? Another of these awkward moments. Thinking. Depending on how things go, it could lead to a lot of other potential projects to go onto Patreon or to YouTube. Believe me, I have plenty of ideas of stuff I would like to do for the channel. If you can't tell simply by looking at the game library of Wii, GameCube, and other Switch games that eventually I might show, but hopefully I can be able to show some stuff off in recordings on stream, just some games that I have that I would like to be able to do videos for, but otherwise haven't been able to because schoolwork's kept me really, really busy, or I've been stuck with my YouTube backlog, which has caused much of the delays behind finishing editing on my other YouTube videos. Wish that weren't the case. But I have a lot of ideas I would like to do, but trying to keep up with school and keeping myself alive more often than not becomes a bit of a hurdle. I don't know how to make that not sound negative, I guess. It's just groceries become a priority, and that kind of impedes being able to get equipment, games, so forth. So I'm very likely going to put links to my PayPal and my Patreon and a Streamlabs link in the description of this video, as well as probably my streams for E3. So, hopefully, well, I don't want to sound like I'm asking you to donate, because you're ultimately free to choose whether or not you do donate to my channel. I will certainly be grateful for any money that you donate to me purposefully, because one thing I'm going to state right now, if you donate to me, that donation is final. You are not going to be able to refund that, because I know of way too many instances on YouTube and on Twitch of people having the money that was donated to them taken back, and more often than not, it took a serious financial toll on them. And I'm not going to tolerate that kind of crap at all. So, if you do decide to donate over Streamlabs or pledge on Patreon, know that the money that you are sending is final. You can't refund that. That's why I'm asking you. If you do it purposefully. I don't want people to be accidentally donating. I want you to be careful if you do decide to donate to me. Because I don't want you freaking out about donating too much. I don't want me to be freaking out because I'm going into debt because of people donating. I just want to be able to get this weight off. Because getting emotional again. This week has been very hard on me, both mentally, emotionally, and financially. And so long as I know that there are people willing to help out in whatever way they can, as minimal or as generous as they want to be. Doubting generous would even be a thing right out the gate, but it would certainly improve a lot of what has happened over the past week. Going into E3, I'm going to go in excited, happy, and hoping that things will turn out for the better.